Hey y'all, Farmer Dre back at it. Today I'm going to tell you guys everything you need to know about planting a peach tree. Alrighty, so the first and most important thing before you get started digging in the field, before you get your tractor out and start making holes, is knowing what variety you're going to plant. And I've always said this, variety selection is very important. And there are certain varieties that work great on the East Coast, work good on the West Coast, and some that work here out in the Midwest. So doing your research and knowing what kind of rootstock, what kind of variety you want to grow, how many chill hours it has, how many growing degree days it needs. And kind of to break it off, if you guys don't know what a chill hour is, it is the amount of temperature that is counted below 45 degrees. So it's below 45 until 32 degrees, and then some varieties require 300 chill hours, some varieties require 1,200, 1,300. There's even some that require 1,800 chill hours. So knowing what growing zone you're in, USDA growing zone you're in. Out here in Southwest Missouri, we're in growing zone 6B, so we get roughly around 1,200 to 1,400 hours of chill hours every winter. Depends on the year. There's been years where we only got 1,000, and those chill hours are very important, because if the tree doesn't fulfill that chill hours, then the fruiting buds aren't initiated for a good crop. So then you might have half crop or a quarter crop. But the only downfall of having such a long winter is that you might plant a variety that works well but only has 300 or 400 chill hour requirements. So then your first warm weekend in February, those buds might start popping out and start budding out, and then it gets cold again in March and then they freeze out. So variety selection is good, and make sure you know ins and outs of the varieties you are planting. So another very important thing to know whenever you do plant your peach trees is your site selection. So peaches, they need a very well draining soil. And if you're gonna plant them on the top of the hill, or as you guys can see here on our property, it kind of valleys down into the ravine that we have in the corner of the property there. Make sure that you don't have any sitting water, because peach trees do not like sitting water next to the roots. If they have more than 3 or 4 days of sitting water next to the roots, they're gonna go ahead and die out and drown due to lack of oxygen. And any fruit tree in general, you wanna make sure it's on a well draining soil, but peach trees in particular. And if you have a little bit of hump, make sure you don't plant where there's sitting water any time of the year, so you could have a tree that's alive. So that was all kind of stuff you need to do before you order your trees and kind of get ready for the season. But whenever your trees do come in, if you are buying from a bare root nursery and the trees come bare root, then you want to make sure you keep them in a cool environment, anywhere from 35 to 45 degrees, and you make sure you want to wet the roots every other day, so that your trees won't die out until you get them planted. I know we order a few hundred at a time, so there's no way we could plant them the same day we get them. So we have a small 10 by 10 walk-in cooler that we use for produce. We just go ahead and put them in there and put the temperature about 40 degrees, and water them every other day until we get everything ready, the site prepared. So now that you got your peach tree in, what is the next step? Well, you want to make sure you amend the soil and get it ready for the peach crop you want to put in. And then whenever you go through to dig, we used an auger, just a basic post hole digger, an auger, to drill all of our holes. So out here in Southwest Missouri, we have a lot of clay soils with rock, and about 18 inches down we have a big fragipan. It's a hard pan layer where the roots will not penetrate through that hard pan, and usually it is a lot more acidic than your actual soil. Whenever you make your holes for your trees, you want to make sure to do not dig it too down, do not pull any of that rock and stuff up. And if you have too much of a fragipan on top, then your peach trees will not do great, because like I said, the soil is a lot more acidic underneath that. So you can make sure your hole is anywhere between 12 inches and 16 inches down, so that your bare root tree will fit nicely in there. So what we do is, whenever we build that pavilion down there, that big old white building that you guys see in the background there, up there towards the front of the property, we have really good soil. And just like anywhere, any farm, we build all of our buildings on the best soil you have on the property. But what we did is we pulled off, you know, 8 to 10 inches of that good rockless topsoil, and we moved it to the back. So what we do after we get done drilling the holes with the auger, whenever we get whenever we get the tree, we go ahead and put it in the hole, and then we fill it in with that good rockless topsoil that came from your property. And I heard different, you know, guys from the USDA talk about this, but they said if you get the best soil from, you know, for us, you know, anywhere from the, like Illinois or Indiana, wherever they have the best soil in the United States, you know, the richest soil, you know, if you bring it down here in Southwest Missouri, it will not perform as well as it does up there. First of all, the climate's different, your soil biology in general is different. And you know, the chemistry of the soil, the sand, silt, and clay of the soil might, you know, be better for growing peaches in. But in our area, you know, your best soil is what you have in your property, because all of the soil around that you could potentially bring in doesn't have the developed biology and the microorganisms to work up your soil. So, you know, replacing the soil from a different location, you know, it would be nice if we had their kind of soil, but you're better off in the long run working with the soil you do have on your property. So it started raining outside, and I had to step in here in the warehouse here to finish off the video. I didn't want to get soaked. Anyways, now we're gonna go ahead and plant the tree. And whenever you get a bare root tree, there's always the rootstock and then the scion, and then wherever they combine them, it's called the graft union. On peaches, you want to make sure that that graft union is the soil level, and you want to make sure just a hair taller than the actual, you know, above the soil, because you want that rootstock to be full on in production. And you know, if you plant just a regular peach seed, let's say you buy a peach from us or any other peach farmer, plant it, then that's going to have the root system of that peach, of that particular peach, and it had different disease issues. But these particular rootstocks, like we have the Guardian rootstock, that is resistant to peach tree short life and a lot of different other stuff. So you want to make sure that the scion, the fruit that you're going to harvest, doesn't go ahead and root on its own, and then your peach could potentially die off a lot quicker than, you know, than it should. So make sure, you want to make sure that that graft union is about ground level, maybe just a little higher. And then you want to make sure, what we do is we compress the soil around the tree, so that, let's say you have you know, maybe a golf ball size air space in the soil, make sure you go ahead and take that out of the ground. So once your tree is planted, now I mean, it's just, you know, straight up forward. Make sure you keep the soil moist around the roots. And what we do is we have a big old 500-gallon tank, just go up and down and water them. And on young trees, you want to make sure to put on 1 gallon a week of water per tree. So, you know, it doesn't seem like a lot, but, you know, if like out here, if we get an inch of rain, we don't have to irrigate, but if we do, then we got to supplement that water. So, you know, especially on a young tree. On an older tree, they have a developed root system, so we're not too worried about them dying out. But on a young peach tree, you know, the roots are really small, they're tiny, so you want to make sure to water them, you know, up until the fall. You know, we just consistently keep on keeping the roots moist. And you might want to throw in a little bit of fertilizer, just a slight, you know, some type of water soluble fertilizer or some granule fertilizer. We use composted turkey manure, so, you know, in a couple of weeks, 4 or 5 weeks from now, we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit around, and then around the 4th of July, do the same, and, you know, just keep that nitrogen level as high. So, you know, in the first few years on a peach tree, you just want to grow the tree. You know, in the first and second year, we do not want to crop it, and then in the 3rd year, we want to go ahead and leave a light crop on there. So you're trying to get, you know, to that 9-10 foot height by the, you know, end of 2nd year, maybe the middle of the 3rd year. So, you know, keeping the disease and the bugs and fungus off the tree itself, and just trying to keep a healthy tree. So this is just a little bit of advice from an actual peach farmer. You know, we grew a lot more different crops, but, you know, it's not my first rodeo with peaches. You know, we're still learning every day, still trying to, you know, improve our crop. But, you know, the best way, you can always go online and look up stuff, but if you actually talk to a farmer, they're gonna show you what works and what doesn't work. And some of the things that we found out, you know, some of the downfalls, or some of the, you know, stuff that I hope you guys don't run into, is, you know, you want to make sure to keep your trees sprayed at all times, because up in our area in the Midwest, we get a lot of rain during the growing season, a lot of humidity, a lot of rain, And if you don't spray, you know, that copper fungicide during the spring, during the dormancy period, to kill off those bacteria spores, then you're gonna have, you know, a lot of different diseases like the peach leaf curl and all kinds of good stuff, you know. So it's wherever you have a rainy climate or a lot of insect pressure, you know, it's kind of hard to not spray any kind of fungicides or insecticides. But you know, to be able to have a healthy tree, to grow a good crop, you need to be able to prevent that kind of stuff. So, you know, and other than that, you know, just keep it fertilized, keep it growing nicely, and you're gonna be pretty soon you'll be a peach farmer. Alrighty, y'all, this is gonna be pretty much it for today. If you guys haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, go to smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day. We will see you next time.